I started recording and you can continue.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I am Akshit Arora. I was supposed to give a talk like a few weeks ago, but due to logistical reason, we had to postpone it. Thanks for joining. I hope that this session is more like a two-way conversation than a one-way conversation. So I'd be positioning my talk accordingly, and feel free to participate. Um, I think I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick and make sure all of this is working. So desktop 1, desktop 2. Okay, I think I need to go grant access. I'll be right back. Let's see. Slack, Zoom. I'll quit and reopen, okay? Rohit, I'll be right back. Let's see if I'm able to share my screen now. Yeah, that looks like it. So can you see the screen? Can someone confirm that they can see my screen with the presentation on it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you. And yeah, we can start. So I'm a CU Boulder alumnus who, as I say, loves giving joy to tens and millions of users by making machines speak as naturally as human beings. Um, this talk is mostly centered around a typical grad student's focus areas that look something like this graph on the left side. You're probably missing family, you have anxiety, you're happy sometimes, you're missing India. If you're from India, I assume most of the audience here is from India, but sorry about that assumption here. At least for me, that's how the graph looked like. I was worried about money, I was worried about where my laptop was, so on and so forth. If I crack that job, should I buy that car? There are so many things to navigate here. And in this talk, I'll be sort of talking about how you can make the best out of this experience, right? I hope to declutter some of this like humongous graph that you have on your side and help navigate to the best version that you can achieve for yourself with a special focus on career, right? Because this is a professional club, so you're all part of it and you're expecting some professional material to be covered today. So we'll talk through all of that. If that sounds okay, I have some questions for you. So if you are able to, maybe go to this link and let me know once you're on that link. I am not able to see the chat here that easily. Let's see if I can see the chat. But once you're able to go on this link, please let me know in the chat by giving a thumbs up so I know that you're on the link and I can start. So this is the link I have sent on the chat as well. Once you have it, just either put an emoji or just say that that you're able to access it. Okay, sounds good. So this is a thing called Slidos. Something if you're a TA, you've probably done that to the students. But just wanted to ask, like, where you're from. Which, for example, I'm from Amritsar in Punjab in India. Where are you all from? Where do you call home? On the link, there should be, yes, thank you. Great. You guys are already rocking it. I'll give probably 10 more, 20 more seconds to this. And then a lot of people from Bangalore. As you're doing it, if you're done with the first question, you can also watch this fun inspiration of today for you as you're typing the first question. I'm going to go ahead and start. Hit play. I hope it lets me play. Come on, Google. If you're not going to let me play, then I'm going to have to do some sketchy work here to get you to play. So I'm not sure if the audio is cutting in or not, but it's just a fun infographic while you guys type this. So I think a lot of people are done with this question. I'm going to move ahead to the next question here. Can you still hear my voice? Yes.
Yep, we can hear your
Okay.
voice.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you for these answers. Next question is, in one word today, what are you most grateful for in your life? You can type as many times as you want, but people have sounds good. I'm gonna move ahead to the next question. Last question of the day. Before we go on. In a few words, what is your dream for this world? What change would you like to see within your lifetime in this world? Don't think too much about it. Just like any sci-fi future will work. If you would like to see cars fly, that's okay. Yeah, I see someone wrote financial stability. That's a good one. That's a good one to achieve for your life. But in this world, if you could change one thing, not just about yourself, for the world, what would your legacy be? Right? Like, I'm Akshit, so I would love for my legacy to be something like transforming the education system, for example, like high school education system in India. That I got roughed up a lot. I was bullied a lot. So I hope to change that, or I hope to see it change at least during my lifetime for students who are so young. That's an example. I should be approaching the end of this visual. All right. Okay. Thank you for taking part in that. And I'm gonna go ahead and show some results here. So thank you for this. So a lot of people from Karnataka, from Bangalore, very similar to what when I was at CU. A lot of my classmates were from Bangalore. In one word, okay, that's great, right? A lot of you mentioned people as opposed to things. That's great to know. And then in the end, I mentioned as a cybersecurity student and a security researcher, I would love for the internet to be a safer place for everyone. That's great. That's great. And I'd love for you to note this down wherever you have it. Like financial stability is also a great personal goal. Note that down. And people should think work is just part of life. Yes, if you love your work, And if, like me, you don't love your work, you'll always have something secondary going on. Like right now, I'm missing a work call to be here because I love this more than whatever that work call was all about. So don't tell my boss. Um, but anyway, thank you for taking part in this. And part of the reason was also for me, not just for me to gather data about you, but also for you to gather data about you. And a lot of this call, I'll go through, why knowing yourself is often more important than everything else in life. So this will be sort of the sequence of this call. The first tool to declutter any mess that I showed you in the first slide is to prioritize, right? And after literally years of, at least for me, it took me years to of practice and introspection, I came up with the sequence of priorities that works, that has worked and is currently working extremely well for me. So the first one, health, is at the foundation of it all, right? Um, for health, I realized that I can unblock all of my dream experiences and do my greatest work in a sustainable way if and only if I'm healthy or I'm actively, working on becoming healthier. Um, family. A lot of you mentioned like your pet, a lot of things that you're grateful about, people that you're grateful about. A lot of that was about family. So an important note about family is I realize I can do and enjoy whatever I do in this world only with my family. Therefore, taking care of my family, mentoring them, making sure they reach their best potential is going to multiply my impact in this world. Part of it is the reason that I'm here talking to you, telling you all of this, is because CU Boulder has been and is currently part of my family. It was for full time for 2 years. I was only dedicated to this institution, and now that I've graduated, I seek to go and mentor people who are still there and are working through to achieve the best version of themselves. Study and work takes the third place after this foundation, like study or your work, depending on what you're doing in this phase of your life. Um, that's where uh, you have to do your best work. After taking care of my health and my family, I must focus on the best work that I can do for this world, or whatever I need to study to do the best work that I can do for this world. Learning how to design the best work, execute on that work, and share the impact of that work with the world is important at this stage. Once you've conquered the first two, right, health, family, the next is study and work. You should absolutely know how to do it, how to do your best in that area. The fourth one is society. One doesn't grow in this industry as an individual. One grows with a team. This team may or may not include parts of your family and is usually part of the general society around you. Uh, it can be anyone, it can be friendships or relationships that you've had with people, and investing in valuable people around you, even though it might seem like it's taking a lot of your energy today, you never know what the other person is going to become tomorrow. So investing in the people who are fortunate to be part of your journey today is going to lead to incredible things that you can do together later in life. And I'll touch upon that in a bit. All of these, actually, I'm going to go ahead and expand on these as we go through. And finally comes the dream of leaving Earth better than you found it. At least that's my dream. You can have your dream. But leaving Earth better than you found it. A lot of the startup pitches start this way, if you know, right? OpenAI or any company in the world is just claiming to make Earth better. So that's where all of this is going to build. I haven't reached the stage yet. I haven't opened my own company yet, but just that's the sequence of priorities that has worked for me. To hope this helps you declutter your mind. But yeah, thanks for participating so far. So let's talk about health, right? When you talk about health, I divide health into these 6 sections. The first one is physical. you can measure it by your BMI or whatever works for you. Have a physical checkup every year, if not every 6 months. That's just something to keep with yourself. Um, because that's the most like fundamental part of your health, the physical health, right? After that, you talk about emotional. Am I experiencing productive emotions or unproductive emotions? Where are you spending most of your time? Productive emotions are happy and excited, joyful, or even sad is a productive emotion in my experience. But guilt and jealousy are definitely the most unproductive emotions out there. So figure out where you're spending most of your time, and just try to make sure that you're spending in the productive emotion zone as much as possible, because that's where that is what will enable you to do more positive work in your life. When it comes spiritual, am I at peace? Have I internalized that I'm going in the right direction? If not, perhaps I need to seek mentorship in this direction. A lot of us are just charging towards a goal. Most of the time, um, in a herd, we don't realize that whatever we are going towards is probably not aligned with what we want in our lives. And that realization takes a long time to come. If you are someone who is easily diverted in other directions just because your peers are doing something else, probably you need to seek mentorship to align more with what is the best for you and only going in that direction. If there is a certain research area that is best for you, or excites you, it might not excite other people. Um, I was one of the very few students working with professors during my time at CU because I was really passionate about how we can have learning applications in education domain. And that's where it ended up being like a huge success for me. And that is what led to me finally getting a data scientist job as opposed to a software engineering job, which at the time a lot of my you know classmates or batchmates ended up getting. Even the ones who were initially interested in deep learning, the opportunities were really scarce out there at the time. Um, so just make sure you're in the right direction and your efforts are aligning in the direction that you want, not that someone else wants. Social. Am I surrounding myself with the right kind of people? You are a product of your surroundings, no matter what you say. So consciously and check if I am surrounding myself with the positive people or people who are interested in my growth, and am I also supporting them back in the ways that they need? So it's a two-way relationship. Uh, with intellectual, just like physical health, your brain also needs to exercise. Is your brain exercising? Are you engaging your brain in the right kind of technical challenges or any challenges to make sure it's being utilized to its core to be able to get the right results in life? And financial, are you spending on the things that are worth it? You probably financial is the one thing that everyone is usually worried about. So track it. It's sometimes if you invest it in the right places, it gives you infinite returns. So track it and take care of it. Don't be too worried about it. Uh, Equally focus on all of these health parameters, and just briefly touching upon this. Um, I have an anecdote here. So not so long ago, 5 years ago now, I was in a career fair at CU, and at that time, I had to get to a TA class. There was still, I think, one more hour to go in the career fair, and I had to leave that to go TA an undergrad class. And I asked my senior or my classmate, one of my classmates, not taking names here, um, if they would be up for just taking my resume and keeping it on the pile, as there are a lot of lines to go to and I clearly have to leave. I can't be there myself. I need to go do this TA work. And the person came back to me and said that line, right? Why would I help you? You're my competitor. And it took me several days to really find my way out of it. because I didn't know how to respond. It is true. It is a very harsh truth. But is it though? Really? We all it took me some time to realize that we are all destined for different things. We all have a different DNA. How can we ever be competitors? We are all good at different things. It wouldn't hurt to put my resume out there as well as his. It's rather like a team. You can approach it like a team. Uh, Try to team up with the people around you because that's the that's the right mindset. You're all different. Nothing one can do, the other can also do. Even if companies make it look like you're the same software engineer one or software engineer two for whatever level they're hiring you at, you're not. You're so much more than that. So even if the world tries to put you in a box and label it, you needn't agree with that situation. Try to approach it with a team. So when talking about family, we always talk about, family back home. So we when we care about family, we typically do these three things. We enable them to become the best version of themselves. We hope to provide resources to resolve anything in their lives, and then they should feel free to come up and ask for anything. The same goes for the family here, right? The same applies to the family that you are currently in at CU Boulder. This is a photo from our uh, I think it was Diwali night or some Dandiya night or something. My first time at CU, and it took me like several of these folks are still in touch with me, and whenever I'm in their city, I get like free Airbnb and free referrals to every company that they're working in, and it it took us all some time to realize that CU Boulder is not the place where like we are competing with each other. Actually, it's the one place where we all get united. We all have shared experiences. Banking on those shared experiences, we're gonna be a team in the future when everyone is some other place. Everyone is at some other place. You can always give a call. You can always reach out and like make things work for you. Whether it's immigration, whether it's job referrals, anything. Invest in this family around you. I heavily, heavily recommend that. Folks around you are not your competitors. Rather, they are your teammates for the rest of your life. It will be really beneficial if you start looking at them that way. You like tomorrow, if I need a recommendation letter for my O1, which is an extraordinary ability visa, from someone who is like absolutely like out of a great university, has done some like great PhD work and is about to recommend me for my visa. Why do you think they would give it to me and not to someone who has gone to that same university and had a shared experience with them? So try to bank on that. Try to use that to your advantage. It's gonna really help you if you start treating everyone around you at this university as your family, as someone you're enabling to get to their best. And in return, they enabled you to get to your best. And based on that, for the rest of your life, you're going to have them as your peer. You're going to have them as your team. So just wanted to get that point across. Um, oh, yeah, by the way, I think one of them will end up writing my recommendation letter. I just have to pick who. All right. Hi, Pratima. I see you there. I see you snuck in and then turn off your video. So fun fact, I think this was organized by Pratima or one of her classmates. Like this was organized by seniors. And she was also somewhere in that photo, but this is typically my batchmates here. Um, about study and work, I'm going to be covering some things in depth that I feel you can do today to maximize your personality or your professional capacity in future. So the first point here, and it was all supposed to be really well animated, and it's not, and it's really throwing me off. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use good old highlighters, and I'm gonna talk about one point at a time. Um, so here we go. So use this time to curate ideas. Now, the reason I say that is
Good
go
food,
read
huh?
the statement. I think someone is not
What?
muted. Please mute yourself.
They have really good spring rolls and stuff, no?
Okay, guys, you're making me jealous. The food is really good. There were spring rolls? They never used to be spring rolls for us, dude. Okay, Boulder has reaching it. I need to visit again. Okay, so reread your vision statement, and you will notice that if it's something that you truly care about, and a lot of people are caring about it in this world, there may be competitions as part of research conferences. I'm participating in one right now, and literally, like, I have to train a few models before Monday, and I have like 2 people working for me at NVIDIA right now. But to like go make that happen, it's gonna be an interesting conversation later today to try to make them work over a weekend. So wish me luck. But there may be competitions as part of research conferences or industry conferences. Go make a team around you. Again, use this family. Go make a team, participate in them, and go win that award. Why not? uh, that's something that will add value to your resume for the short term. And another secret prize is waiting for you at the end of the slide. If you do all of these things that I'm saying, I will reveal that and tell you how it can help with your immigration, which is why the talk title was something to do with immigration. Um, Go make a team and see if you can crack that award. And go participate with a professor. I'm sure CU professors will be very happy to mentor a team for a research conference. That is something they excel at. Um, ideas starting from your studies today will become products and features for your employer tomorrow. Think of it that way as well. If you just write one pager of your ideas and store it with yourself. If you're not using it today, tomorrow you can file a patent about it. And trust me, when you're studying, you get a lot more ideas than when you're working. I wish I could get the same ideas again as I used to get at CU Boulder. 2 of them are about to be patented, by the way, the ones that I did end up writing. So why is patenting important? I'll get to that at the end of the bonus prize. But yeah, just something for you to focus on. Every idea can also become a patent. Work on it for a week, write some architectural diagrams, talk to a professor if you can file as a patent. I don't know if this is possible at CU, but certainly as soon as you enter your workforce, you can file a patent for sure. If it is an academic area that you are interested in, go write a paper about it. You have all the time in this world to go do that and make a GitHub repository to go with it. If it turns up to be an important paper, this will be your biggest code sample that you can publish to an employer when you have your resume. Like when you have that GitHub repo on your GitHub profile, which has a lot of stars because it is relevant for a research purpose, it just gives it a lot more. It gives the recruiter the signal that you are someone who is not just making a project because of making a project for a class. You are someone who is stepping back, taking a look at the bigger picture, and then making a project for a reason, for a broader problem that needs to be solved. That is something I wish, like, none of the projects I made at CU, maybe 3 research projects, are still relevant and I can talk about them today. I cannot talk about the many projects I did for certain courses only. I wish I had taken further a step back and made them relevant to the world in a different way. That's where this is coming from. Volunteer at IEEE and ACM activities or any engineering activities, society activities on campus. There are a lot of leaders from the tech expertise who come up, and you can get to network with them and you can even crack a job in that event. If, rather than a career fair, I feel networking is better when it's for a purpose, for a particular purpose that you and only you are interested in. Who knows? One idea out of all the things that you do today might even lead you to get to open up a startup and just remove the need for an H-1B. You can just directly go to an O-1 if you do that. And if you do that, talk to me. I can help connect you with the right folks to convert your idea to something that can make you the employer, and then you can employ the family around you, and then all of you can be really happy. So yeah, that's all from study wise. Work is more about finding and creating value. So any startup story you hear, the core business proposition is always some sort of value creation, right? As I said, you're leaving Earth a better place than you found it. So naturally, while finding jobs, you have to think about how you can create value for your potential employer. This is what you're answering through your resume, not what all you've done so far. You're going to answer, and this is what they're looking for. How can you create value? How can Akshit Arora create value for NVIDIA today so that NVIDIA can do better? That's the real deal that's going on there. So you have to figure out what you're uniquely good at and position that in the story of the employer. Akshit is really good at making text-to-speech models, which is good for NVIDIA because they train on NVIDIA GPUs and they position NVIDIA as being world-class leader in speech research. So there is always a narrative that you have to stick to, which is the narrative is communicated through a resume, but you have to first formulate that narrative and you translate whatever you're studying today to build that narrative eventually. You know, which then translates to how you help create value for this employer so they can create value for the world and generate revenue. For me, having three sort of trackers have always helped. One is the short term. What is my need in the next 3 to 6 months, and how can I achieve it? Then there is a medium term, 1 to 2 years from today. What is the pathway to address those needs for 1 to 2 years? And then there is, of course, a lifetime impact. Okay, I'm interested in the education sector at India. How can I find my path eventually there? It doesn't have to be really specific, the long-term one, but try to make the short-term one very specific and doable. Medium term can decide on based on the short-term outcomes. And then long-term, you can just dream up and cook up anything you want, frankly. And the sooner you do it, by the time you turn like 40, you would know, okay, I have come to a point where I can do my life's work. If you get there, I haven't gotten there yet. I've just cooked up stuff and it's just there. Ask me in 10 years, I'll tell you where I'm at with those things. So I was supposed to complete this slide until last time, but I didn't because I thought my talk was canceled, and then I'm back at the slide again. So when I say building your narrative, just very short, who you are, what you do, how you do it, who you do it for, and how do those people get impacted by your work. If you have all of this mapped out for yourself before an interview, that becomes your elevator pitch at that interview. So in the beginning, like I said, who am I? I'm Akshit Arora, right? What I do, I build text-to-speech systems for NVIDIA. How I do it by writing code. Who I do it for? The world. Anybody really who is not able to speak, they can just type and then that language becomes their language. And then how do those people get impacted by my work? I'm still building that part of the narrative, but I just cooked it up on the fly. I'm still at the part where I'm building the TTS. My real elevator pitch right now would be to sell NVIDIA work. And I'm not going to get there because I think this is out of the scope of this talk. Anyway, did I tell you that I don't like my work of selling stuff? Okay, that's why I'm doing the TTS work on the side. Again, do not tell this to NVIDIA and do not quote me on this. Oh shit, this is recorded. Okay, sorry. Apologies for the bad word. After you've built your narrative, like, as I said, the sequence for this talk, right? For the society and for the world, there's a lot of negative energy out there already. Just open X or Twitter and you will get all of it. You'll get all the unproductive emotions, jealousy, anger, hatred, disgust, peer pressure, all of it in one shot. If you want, just go to Twitter. That only means that for this world, you need to give a lot more positivity than you receive. you're going to be donating your time for a cause or passing on mentorship to students younger to you, or using your expertise towards people who need it the most. Try to see if you're an expert already in a field. Like let's say you were in India and you worked on a whole bunch of projects for big data. You can go to local high schools or local colleges and judge competitions. Even in CU, you can judge competition. You can help people with their capstone project, and then hire them for your company that you'll make in the future. Uh, Believe that this positivity will find its way back to you, and when you need it the most, and in ways that you cannot imagine. I have felt this personally to be able to write this line for you. I know only some of you looking backwards may be able to realize the true value of this line, but I am very certain once you graduate out and once you get that job and a few years down the line, you will realize that everything that you've done in terms of spreading positivity to others, you've received in countless ways from others, very different people. Where you give is sometimes not where you get from. So that's okay. But you're going to receive kindness from a lot of different people if you are someone who gives kindness on a regular basis. So yes, how are you going to apply these learnings, right? This is a level-wise description of a company that I work at. And this is how, if you notice, we talked about a lot of things in this talk. If you want to go back and look at the slides again, I'll send the slides over too. But if you look at this, like level 4, influence to expertise in multiple areas or mastery of a particular area, owns a small project and leads a significant subset of a large project. Whenever I'm due for a promotion, I'm asked to crack the next level before I actually get that next level. You today, depending on where you are, you'll be hired at a level 2 or level 3 per our industry standards of software engineering or in general tech industry. Try to see if through your work you can build a narrative that says exactly this. That says you are someone who has collaborated through extensive knowledge in one or more areas, or you've led a project, and this is how you want to word your resume out too. And this is how exactly you're going to create value for the company. This is going to help you. All of what you've done so far, if you follow through my slide, you would end up cracking one of these 2 levels or these 3 levels, depending on your expertise, previously existing expertise, or depending on how you do these tasks and how you build that one narrative, right? And let me remind you, you're all experts in very different fields. Try to find your expertise. Your expertise is not in competition with the others. So make it stand out and help each other and grow. I hope you take that as a take-home lesson. And one bonus point, the bonus prize that I was revealing to you in the end is this. Every year or every month, you get this bulletin from USCIS about if you do everything right, you get your H-1B. I'm assuming a lot of your Indians are from India or born in India. You get your H-1B, you apply for a green card. That's the standard route that 70% I estimate all of you would take, or 80%. If your company is good, they will apply green card like right off the bat, and it still would take 2-3 years to get processed to get to the stage. If you have seen that, there is a long line called EB2 where you're just stuck waiting for 100 years to get that green card. Even though the government says, yes, you absolutely should get a green card, they just don't have enough to give out as per the current policies. Unless some policy changes happen, it's not going to clear up. It hasn't cleared up for the past 5 to 6 years. So if you do everything I said, if you invest in curating your ideas, if you invest in creating value, if you invest in judging and mentoring others, all of that effort starting today as a grad school student, I wish someone had told me like 5 years ago. I would have already gotten my green card today, right? But I haven't. So that's just one thing that I'm trying to solve from the immigration perspective. And I'm sure a lot of you would want to do that as well. But if you follow through all of that, you can create evidence that will count towards something called an extraordinary ability, which is EB1, where you can get your green card right away, as opposed to waiting. There is no per country quota for EB1. It is the immigration system of this country is maddening to say the least. And if you are interested in this country long term, I really suggest you start working on those pointers that I mentioned earlier. Even if you're not, even if you're not, it is going to take you further into your corporate, professional life, a lot further than you thought, and a lot faster than you thought. So it is going to help either way. I hope you found the talk helpful. Looking backwards, just want to tell you the dots will always connect. You've heard this quote, so I'm only quoting someone else. Kudos to you. You are now on your path to a healthier you. Congratulations. You now have a support group for the rest of your life, which is the people around you. Let these ideas flow. You now know where and how each of your unique ideas can make an impact, either as a startup idea or as a patent or as a research paper. I have given you the whole laundry list of where you can invest and how, if you have an idea. And that's where we started. If you saw, like, that was a story of an idea thing from Google. Create value for yourself, for others around you, for your employer, and for society and for the world. So good luck. And this is my sister, my mom, and my dad right before I walk up to that stage for the graduation. This is sort of how your viewpoint will look like. I know a lot of people just post their like graduation photos, but no one posts how the POV looks like when you're walking towards the stage. So yeah, good luck. If there are any questions, if you want to follow up with me personally, I think this QR code should lead you to my Calendly invite, where you can just sign up for a time to talk to me if you found all of this useful. And yeah, thank you so much for coming. And last 6 minutes for you, Prath. I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna ask Pratima to answer all of the questions that they have on my slides.
Yeah, before we go into questions, I just really want to thank you, Akshit. I actually got pulled into a leadership meeting, which I could not miss. And Akshit was all ready to get into the meeting and, just handle everything in this talk. So thank you so much. I owe you one.
Cool. All good.
But I'm open to taking questions. So is Akshit, because it was all his talk. So just a brief background about me. I'm Pratima Shirkane. So I graduated in 2018 in Masters in Computer Science. So same as you, we have all been in your shoes. We know the troubles. We know everything that you have to go through to, kind of get to a job, get to wherever we are at in a level in the office. So any questions you have around it, please feel free to throw it at us.
A lot of the credit of what I've learned and communicated here actually goes to Pratima and her group, because they have done so much in their grad school life that it's always been an inspiration to just look and learn. Okay, you can have fun. Okay, you can dance. Okay, you can do all these other things while studying. So it's okay to pause. And then
Yes,
the learnings came through. So
that's
thank
an
you.
advice I think I give everybody. Studies, grades, everything keep coming. I know you have to get to assignments, but don't stop living your life. Go out with your roommates, go out with your friends, watch movies, I mean, just, I would say, time manage, right? You don't have to be 24 hours, or rather, how many hours you sleep? We used to sleep for 4, but how many hours you have to take for sleep, take it. Function well,
Yeah.
enjoy your life, but also pay attention to this. But that's all I would say. My takeaway: I have traveled so much during the 2 years of courses that I took, but now when I look back, I'm like, I did not just slog my ass off. I did take that time to enjoy it. I made new friends who are still my friends, so forever friends. So take that time, make those connections. And if I was going to talk today, I was really going to talk about networking. How it has gotten me where I am today is only because of my network. Before I came here, I worked in India as well for 4.5 years. And then I moved to the US to do my master's. The current job that I am in, I'm a data analytics director at US Bank. My boss currently is someone who I worked with in India. So he was here he called me. He said he's starting a data analytics team. Am I interested to be a part of it? And that's how I'm here. So connections matter, networking matters. Just pitch your ideas, talk to people. That's mostly what I'd say. And I'll stop. Go ahead if anybody has any questions.
Yeah. You can put questions, either unmute yourself, or I don't know how Rohit usually organizes this, but if you want, you can just type in the chat.
Yeah, if anyone have any doubts, they can start talking or raise a hand. We can unmute them. If anyone and thanks a lot, Akshit, for your talk today.
Cool.
Anyone have any doubts? I don't think.
Okay, as you all are typing your doubts, I have a doubt
Okay.
for Pratima again, right? You mentioned about networking. My biggest like fear in life is like I walk into a meetup and or how does one even meet? And my biggest anxiety used to be, or it kind of still is, I ran into, let's say I ran into you and I don't know you, and we are at a conference that your company has organized, and I just like talk. How do I even introduce? I'm just a student, right? And
Mhm.
I potentially don't have anything to offer. How do you think I should think about this conversation with you, approaching you? Uh, yeah,
I actually used to attend a lot of these meetups or these networking events that used to happen, especially in the Denver Boulder area. And like you said, I used to be so nervous. Like, how do I introduce myself? Like, what am I going to say? I'm just studying, so give me a job. No, that's definitely not how you start pitching your expertise. So I start by introducing myself. I say I am a student in such and such area. So if I was doing data science or if I was doing computer science, and my interest lies in whatever. One tip I would give you is, before you go to that event, know the kind of people who are coming, because they say, right, that you can see the list of attendees,
yeah,
and probably pick one or two companies. Say, I read about this, from your company, that you're doing this. What does your job role look like? What do you do on a day-to-day basis? I am getting into the industry tomorrow. I want to understand what I can learn, because honestly, theoretical knowledge is
yeah,
way different than what you do uh, at
yeah,
work. So, like,
yeah,
I am planning to transition my role even at the bank, and then I talk to that person, and I'm like, if there are three things that you would want me to know before I move to your team, what are the three things that you would need? So just pick their brain on those three expertise that the industry. Now everybody will talk about AI. So if it's AI, then ask them, what does it take for me to get into that industry? Because everybody is talking about Gen AI. So maybe you need some machine learning knowledge, maybe you need some coding, or maybe you just need business
yeah,
knowledge for certain things. So that's how I would frame myself and introduce it.
yeah. Often I think of like, as I said, right, curate your ideas. So if you are going to a meetup, as you said, research who you are going to be meeting and try to see what this person or what this organization is doing, and can it do something interesting? Have they looked into that? And one of the other questions can be, hey, I see that you are working as XYZ. Can you do ABC? And do you think that would be possible? I'd just like to like pick your brain. And they would stand there and tell you for 5 minutes, because everybody loves
That's
like
why they are
that
there.
kind of
Right?
question.
It's networking at the end
Yeah,
of the
that's why
day.
they're there.
Yeah.
And it
And I know.
also helps them think about ideas. So yeah,
Yeah. And I was just going to say, I know as a grad student, you might not have the time to go and look up the list. It's okay. Just walk into the meeting, tell them that this is what you want to do and what is it that will help you get there. So
yeah,
that's probably how you get started. If you don't know much about the role that that person that you're talking to is doing.
sounds good. Okay, I need to drop. The folks that I don't like to meet are dragging me back to a meeting. So thank you so much,
That's
Pratima.
yeah.
We'll catch up
Thank you.
sometime. And I'm gonna drop, but I think Pratima is here and
Okay,
Rohit is
stay.
here. So I will share the slides later on. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Akshit.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Pratima, for joining.
No problem. All right. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. Bye.